Hello and welcome to the RDRC and the round 2 from Coffs Harbour rally, where we'll have a look at S2000 class. Senad Subasic in the Mini was out to revenge his disastrous start from Norway. The start of the event was not so positive, with the engine giving up just 1 kilometer from the end of the first stage, and the gearbox did the same some way into SS3. Over enthusiastic on the jump, and around she goes. Retirements in SS5 and SS6 meant that Senad was positioned at the rear end of the S2000 class after day 1. The Coffs Harbour rally turned out to be another tough rally for the Croatian driver, as he understeered off the road on the first stage of day 2 and damaged the rebuilt Mini. Struggling through SS8 as well, but reached the finish of the second stage in a row for the first time this season. On SS9, Senad found a tree resulting in a damaged engine and retirement, and when the Mini gave up the spirit on SS10 as well, he decided to call it a day. A tough start to the season for Senad, but 4 times more finish stages than in Norway means 9th in class and points for the championship. Speed was in such a hurry that he left our reports without anything to report after the rally. And look at this, just before the big jump, and down into the ditch, costing a lot of time. He finished twice as many stages as Senad and therefore finished 1 position ahead of the Croatian driver. But the Latvian driver finished the rally in 8th position. Norman Bruce was also out to revenge a bad result from the season opener in Norway. Sensible jump. Norman was doing the stages in a good way, the first one today to finish all the stages of day 1. Despite the retirement of SS10 and SS13, he was happy with his 7th in class and championship points in the Peugeot. Daniel Tønsberg was 7th in his home event and was on course for a better result here. Steady driving puts him 5th at the end of the first day with the Skoda. Daniel had to retire on SS7 when he hit a pole at the side of the road when he had to avoid a photographer. He tried to catch up some time on the following stage, but ended up damaging the engine and losing even more time on the next 2 stages before the service. Let's go on board with Daniel for the big jump on SS3. Sensible approach, not too big of a distance. Good driving on the final stages of the rally keeps Daniel in 5th position in the S2000 class. Jack Hens was very pleased with the rally at Coffs Harbour. Jack was going at a steady top 5 pace from the word go. He had a 6th position from the season opener, and here at Coffs Harbour he was yet again the fastest Proton in the field. Jack was on his way to a second position in the class when he had a big whoops in his own words and retired from the penultimate stage of the event. This dropped him to 4th in class, but still the fastest Proton and a solid 5th in the championship. Check over the big jump. It's a fairly long jump. Chris Williamson had gone one position better than Jack Hansen at the Rally of Norway and was destined to do the same thing here at Coffs Harbour. Chris opened on the safe side and the cautious approach paid off on the opening loop of day 1 as he was positioned 4th. This was due to change harness 6, however, as we will see in a moment. He clips the inside and turns the car around. Not too bad under the circumstance, but there's more to follow. The second day started very good and he was moving up the order, eventually fighting for the second position in the class, until this hit cracked the radiator on the Peugeot. Needless to say, he could not go on full attack over the final stages and he dropped down to 3rd. Benefiting from this was Roy Magnes, who set out to revenge his final stage slip in Norway, which cost him a victory. He had a nightmare start to the rally, however, hitting a photographer at the end of SS1, and then he slid off the road and killed the engine on the Peugeot on SS2. With a pierced radiator on the rest of the stages on day 1 was just a matter of getting through without any more retirements. Hang on as we are approaching the big jump. Slows the car right down. Day 2 was way better for the Norwegian and he started to fight his way back up through the rankings. A trip off the road on the final stage of the rally cost him a lot of time due to need to help to get back on the road again. But in the end, Roy was 2nd in class, 37 seconds ahead of Chris Williamson, and is happy with the result after a difficult rally. This is about as fast the Peugeot goes. Andrew Kojo is the second half of the RMI Motorsport in the RDRC in the S2000 class, and boy was he informed in this event. 5 or 6 stage wins on the first day left him a massive gap to Jack Hens ahead of the final day of the Coffs Harbour Rally. The only real problem Andrew had during the rally was this trip off the road in SS3, which cost him about a minute. At the end of the event, Andrew had time for a cup of coffee and still have a healthy margin to his teammate. And here I have the results confirmed for you. Andrew Kojo wins with 7 minutes and 16 seconds to his teammate, followed by Chris Williamson, Jack Hans, Daniel Tønsberg, Eckhart von Glan, Norman Bruce, Viestus Pried and Senad Subasic in the Mini, rounding out the top 9 drivers that finished the rally. This leaves us this championship standings after 2 rounds, with Andrew Kojo on top, ahead of his teammate Roy Magnes, and Oscar Hardwick, Chris Williamson, Jack Hans, Daniel Tønsberg, Jeff Brown, Eckhart von Glenn, Norman Bruce and Wiester Spreed is the top 10 in the S2000 class after 2 rounds. Check back with us again at racedepartment.com for the next round of the RDRC.